Welcome back, everyone. The Halloween Haunts 365. I'm Jared.
And I'm Terry.
All right, Parmesan chicken. Get your tickets now. We're running out of time. We're running out of space on this bus. Get your asses on the bus. Terror Tours. Let's do it. Tours is coming to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the 2025 haunt season. This tour, we have 5 haunts, 3 days, at one low price that you will not find anywhere. We will be visiting Castle Blood, Portals of Fear, On the Hills Estate Street Park, Fright Farm, and Crawford School of Terror. Make sure you get your tickets now at terrortours.rip. You will not be sorry. Let's go have some fun. I cannot wait.
Me either.
It's going to be a good time. You excited?
I am excited.
5 haunts, 3 days for less than VIP prices you would pay to go to the haunts, and you're driven around. What are you waiting for? Yeah, you got to talk loud, but there's a mic here.
I know, we're away.
Yep. All right. So, what are we doing today?
We are doing an interview.
Yep. And I am going to introduce Brandon from LW Aerial Productions. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
Good. So how's your night going?
It's just another night here at the house, with being married, and we have 4 kids. They're all still young, so we got our hands full. It's work during the day, and then you come home, and it's work when you get home, and it never ends until usually around this time. Because for some reason, the youngest one, the 2-year-old, is the hardest to get to go to sleep. I don't understand it, but
my
goodness. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I ask everyone this to start this conversation. When did the Halloween bug bite you? What got you into Halloween?
So that has a little bit of an elaborate story, and I believe you and I touched on it prior a little bit before. But growing up as a kid, I grew up in a very strict household. It was very religious. So Halloween was forbidden. We weren't allowed to celebrate Halloween. We couldn't celebrate any holidays, but I saw it all the time. As a kid, you see it, it's on TV, and you go to school and it's there, So, as a kid, it's really interesting. You want to do Halloween, but unfortunately I couldn't do it. But then when I became 18 and I moved out of the house, I pretty much had free will to do whatever I wanted, and was just, eager to live life and explore the world. And at that point, that's when, I was 18. So everything at 18 was, it was Halloween. So let's dress up. Our friends are going to have a party. So we went and did that. But then I wouldn't say Halloween really bit me until, I met my wife, and then we had kids. So, now, the kids, we all celebrate Halloween now. And the kids, they celebrate Halloween. So, I get to live vicariously through them. They get to go trick or treating every year. So then I was into Halloween. But then, I would say my wife is big into horror. So she's always liked Halloween, and she's always told me that. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool. And she got me more into it. But then, I started doing stuff for haunted attractions, and it only took one. And it just started from there. And, I was just like, this is what I want to do. I like haunted attractions. It's just a fun place. You get to see things that most people don't get to see doing what I do. And from there, it's just been insane. It's an addiction. It's an obsession.
That's what I was going to say. It becomes an addiction. Trust me, I have like 17 reels I made today.
Yeah, I can't stop. Every day I'm thinking about haunted attractions. I'm talking to somebody about haunted attractions. I'm talking to somebody who is at a haunted attraction. I'm talking to somebody who's in the industry of haunted attraction. It never ends. And
I worked very hard today at my real job. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like now it's just everything, Now I'm really getting into it. My wife notices because, I have all these shirts from all these haunted attraction stuff, and my wife will see something when Halloween comes around, and yeah. When was it Hot Topic, which was big when I was little. I guess it's still big, but it's a little bit different than it was when I was younger.
Very different look now, yeah.
Yeah. So they come around with like different lines of shirts or button-up shirts. So if my wife sees something, she'll get it for me. So now I pretty much try to rock Halloween stuff all year round. And I just bought some like Vans shoes, and those have like skulls, and they're like black with orange on the bottom. So I'm going like all out on haunted attraction stuff right now. It's everything to me right now.
There we go. It
Yeah.
becomes your identity. It's insane. So, can you tell us how LW Aerial Productions got started and what inspired you to launch your own video production company?
Yeah, so LW Aerial Productions was originally, in the name, it's aerial. So, originally it was all drone stuff. During COVID, just like everybody else, I was looking for something to do. I needed something to get into. And in my line of work that I do in my career, shooting photography and video is not my career. It's a side thing that I do. But I wanted to become a commercial drone pilot. So I got my license as a commercial drone pilot, and it just didn't work out with my line of work where I worked. They were like, we don't need you. We have somebody else already. And then I started flying. I don't know if you've ever heard of FPV drones. It's like the
Mhm.
drones in drone racing. Started flying those a lot, and then I just noticed doing flying and editing my videos. I noticed that I was editing a lot in a cinematic way, like trying to tell a story in a very creative way. So after that, I just got into haunted attractions. Field of Screams was the first haunted attraction I ever worked with. I reached out to them, and it was just like, hey, can I come fly there? Like, I'm not asking for anything. All I'm asking is just, can we do something cool? Because I just wanted to fly there. I mean, who could say that they get to fly drones at a haunted attraction? And
Right.
we did a fun project with them, and it just spiraled from there. Went to Trans World, trying to push the FPV drone in the scene. A lot of people just don't understand it or get it, I feel like, in a haunted attraction. And then, um, I know a lot of other photographers and videographers in the industry, like Dozer. Dozer's a good friend of mine. He is a mentor to me. He's a really great guy. I can message him late at night, and he usually has an answer. And he told me, hey man, you should just get a camera. And I was like, you're right. And so I got a camera last summer, and ever since then, it's just been snowballing. And I just try to reach out to as many places as I can and network as much as I can. And it's just, this is our best season so far. And I never expected it to get to where it is right now. And the sky's the limit. I barely even broke the ice. And I'm excited to see where I'm going to be in the next 2 or 3 years. It's going to be crazy.
Cool. Yeah. Huge shout out to Dozer. Me and him just had a 2-day discussion about book bags.
Yeah, those are
Listen,
some
you
awesome.
gotta carry the stuff, all right.
I know.
So I don't. We got the live show bag, now the go bag. All right. You
Yeah,
just.
bags are important for electronics. You can't
Yeah.
skimp out on that. You
I
don't want to be
returned 3
carrying.
already.
You don't want to be carrying around a bunch of equipment, especially at a haunted attraction. You want to keep these things in order because these places can get dusty. So you have to be prepared.
Shout out to Field of Screams for the dust. But anyway,
What does LW stand for?
It's actually on my shirt, but it's probably backwards on the video, right? So,
no, we can say it right.
okay. Lord Wolf. So when I got into FPV drones, every FPV pilot has an alias or a name. So I wanted to pick a name that I thought was cool. At the time, I was very big into Game of Thrones. I still love Game of Thrones. I watch House of the Dragon. I can't wait for that to come back out. So I was like, I can't do like Lord Stark. Like that's just a copy of it. So what can I do? And I came up with Lord Wolf. And so LW Aerial Productions stands for Lord Wolf Aerial Productions, which the name's going to end up changing because the aerial part kind of people automatically assume, drones. So soon we're going to change it to just LW Productions. And yeah, so LW stands for Lord Wolf, which is technically my drone pilot name.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, what drew you specifically to haunted attractions as a focus for the video work?
just because I can do just about anything. You know, I can go in any industry and shoot photography and videography. That's just, you know, that's just the truth. But some reason, you know, with haunted attractions, there's just so much creative stuff there. You know what I mean? Like you go there and you have your actors and they're all done up in makeup and they all have costumes on, and all these haunted attractions have, you know, sets that are like Hollywood grade. It's like everything that you would need is right there. There's so much creativity there, and you know, with the lighting and sound and everything, it's just, it scratches that itch. You know, I found working with haunted attractions has, you know, released something that I never even knew existed. You know, I never knew that I had this artistic quality inside of me, and haunted attractions are pulling it out. So, you know, there's just, they're just so wild places to shoot, you know, and all the other stuff you can do, you know, it's cool, but it's, some of it is boring. But I find going to haunted attractions and shooting photography and videography is just, it's a lot of fun. Every place you go to is different. Um, so you get to see all these different sets, and, you know, being a customer, you walk through these haunted attractions and it lasts how long? You know, you might, maybe 20 minutes, you walk through everything and that's it. But when you're shooting photography and videography at a haunted attraction, you're there like all day. You're in these haunted houses all day. Sometimes they're turned completely on, sometimes they're not completely turned on. Sometimes it's just the regular lights and you get to see what everything looks like lit up. So like you're there in the haunted attraction, and even going to them now when they're, you know, turned on and doing the work that we do, you know, it still freaks me out because, you know, I walk past the air cannon that triggers. No matter how many times I walk past that air trigger, it doesn't matter. Or air cannon, it doesn't matter. It gets me every single time. So
Me too.
I still get freaked out. And if you go there and shoot, the actors, they'll mess with you too. They know you're doing what you're doing. But they'll mess with you. They'll be like, so and so's in this room ready to go. So if you want to go shoot footage, and you'll go there and you don't see them all, you're like, where are they? And they're hiding, and they'll get you too, even when you're on the job. So I mean, the places are great. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to a haunted attraction? I mean,
Exactly.
come
Right.
on.
So you know you do have a confirmed scare as a scare actor too, right?
Do I?
Oh,
Unless there was another 7-foot photographer in that dining room, you got this one.
Was it during St. Patrick's Day or
At one of the
Valentine's?
Field
yeah.
of Dreams events, and she thought you were a prop. That was the funniest shit I ever saw.
Yeah, it's happened to a lot of people, and it's funny during events like that. You know, because we'll shoot during the off season when it's a closed set, or we'll shoot during the season, which is a lot more challenging because I can't dictate what's going to happen. I don't know where the actors are going to move. I don't know where the group's going to go. I don't know how they're going to react. But I try to, when I'm doing that kind of stuff while they're open, I usually try to distract people, knowing that there's an actor somewhere else and they don't know what's going on. Or for some reason, like you said, I'm tall and people freak out. But there's been a few occasions where I have acted at Field of Screams a few times, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm not old, but I'm not young. And my, you know, props out to those actors because you really got to pace yourself, or you're gonna be exhausted by the end of the night. So good luck to you when you go to act this season. Pace yourself, because I'm telling you, by the end of the night, you're gonna be exhausted, and then the next day, you know, we're not young people. You're gonna feel it
Oh,
in the
no,
morning.
yeah.
You're gonna feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
being
cool.
tall like I am, you know, they put a silicone mask on me because it's just so easy. And my favorite thing to do is literally just stand there and not move because they have no idea whether you're real or not.
When you got me, you were just normal clothes, normal person, and I thought you were a prop.
Hey, you know what? It is what it is. Look, I can get people with just holding a camera in a haunted attraction. So
Right.
imagine what I can do with, you know, all the stuff on.
So, how does filming a haunted attraction differ from a traditional commercial or event shoot and its low light? But what would you add?
I mean, I feel like it's a little more laid back. You know, I feel like it's not so much, okay, like it's not so much like a strict schedule of everything's going to be done a certain way. You know, you kind of have to, no matter what you plan for and you get there, it never goes the way that you want it to go. So you have to be ready to, you know, make changes and adjust things. So there's just always a challenge in it. It's just so creative. The other industries, like I said, we'll do stuff in other industries, but it's just not as fun as haunted attractions. Like, I feel like when I'm shooting photography and videography at a haunted attraction, I feel like I'm not really working. I feel like I'm having fun. And all the people that I've ever met at all the haunted attractions, the actors, the managers, they're all so laid back. They're just normal people, just like us. You know, they're not really like uptight. They're very laid back, and I try to have fun with the actors. I joke around with them a lot of times to try to break the ice because that's just the kind of person that I am. I can't stand in a room or sit in a room with a bunch of people and like nobody's talking. I can't stand that. I can't. It just drives me wild. So I'm usually the first person to break the ice, and I try to make actors comfortable. And after we shoot, I always make sure to shake their hand or give them a fist bump and tell them, you know, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And they're always like, oh, no, thank you. And I'm like, I'm just holding the camera and making sure that I have the right settings and pressing a button. That's all I'm doing. You are the ones who are doing everything. So everything else outside of haunted attractions, a little bit on the boring side. But haunted attractions, a lot of fun. Doesn't feel like you're working. You're just hanging out. I hope I answered that question correctly.
You did. So, what's your creative approach when capturing the feel and energy of a haunt? Because every haunt has a different energy, a different feel. They could copy each scene from every haunt, and it's going to be different than the haunt before. So, how do you creatively approach that?
That's a very tricky thing because, you know, you don't want all the videos to all look the same. Obviously, in my personal opinion, a lot of the promotional videos all kind of follow the same kind of structure,
Hmm.
but in a
You
different
don't say.
style. Yeah, in a different style. But usually I try to do my due diligence. You know, I mean, I probably try to talk to the managers and the owners way more than I normally should, just because I'm like a spark plug. I'll talk your ear off for hours and never stop talking. So I really push the owners, you know, to get a lot of information out. Like, what are you looking for? Is there something that's new that you really want to show? Is there something? I'll ask them, what is your haunt? Why is it different than other haunts? I'll go on their website and see what their website has. I'll see what other promotional videos they had done prior, what kind of photos they have, what do their actors look like, what do their scenes look like. I try to get as much information as I possibly can before I get there, but there's no really knowing, you know, what the feel of the haunted attraction is in the environment until you really get there. But I really try to do as much as I possibly can to get to know what this haunt's all about and their style and everything. And, you know, I try to find the right appropriate music that works for it. And I try to do as much pre-planning as possible on my side. So when it comes time to editing, I've got pretty much everything ready, and I just have to, you know, dump all the footage that I have and go to town. So I try to do as much um, pre-work as I possibly can, pre-planning, to study these haunted attractions, to figure out what makes your haunted attraction different than everyone else's. So
See, pre planning. When you're making fun of me with 70,000 Google Docs, it's all done, right? We don't have to worry about it?
Right.
Okay.
you got to do that, or you're going to spend more time than you really want to. So you have to really organize as much as you possibly can, or you're going to be trying to find everything and it's going to be all over the place and you're going to drive yourself crazy. So organize.
Great. Go for it.
So I have a question. When you're filming in a haunt and you have different lighting lights or the fog is that like a challenge or how do you
Yeah,
come
it
around that?
definitely is. And something that Jared had touched on earlier about low light, you know, taking a camera and shooting it in a place that's bright is easier.
Take. You're good. Yep.
Yeah. But when you go to a place that's low light, it's a lot trickier because, you know, cameras are not like the human eye. That's just the way it is. So you have to adjust things. And most of it is just making sure you add lighting. A camera can only do so much. You know, you can boost up certain settings to try to, you know, it's too dark. Let me boost these settings up. But, you know, you really don't want to do that. You want to, if it's not a lit area, you want to get it lit. I try to stick to scenes that already have lighting in them. And then if I have to add more lights, I have all my lights and then I set them up in a certain area. But sometimes that takes a little while. Fog, you got to be tricky with, because if you have fog in the room and it starts to fill up too much, the whole entire room is just going to look hazy and you don't want that. So you have to be very careful with fog. But it takes a little time, you know, you really have to study the place, and sometimes you have to look what scenes are good, what scenes are bad. And I find that certain scenes that are just almost pitch black, I pretty much try to avoid them from now on because it's just way too much. You need to bring so much light in there. So you find a room that has decent lighting, color lighting, like in the background here is perfect. And then you add a little light in the front of them and you cross your fingers. And you know, you have a screen on your camera though, so you can kind of tell what you're looking at. And it, you know, you just got to be like, okay, I could tell this isn't good. But yeah, lighting is everything. I've learned that. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, it's a gift and a curse because it's a pain in the ass what we do with low light.
Yep. That's why you see, that's why it's very difficult, because I'll go on YouTube, and this is another thing that I do with researching, you know, a haunted attraction, is I'll go on YouTube and try to find walkthroughs. And unfortunately, most people have their cell phones out. It's not going to do very much justice. So I personally, when I see people doing a walkthrough at a haunted attraction, then I'm going to be shooting for, if it's all dark, then I pretty much just stop the video and go on to the next one. But that's a very important tool that I use, is I go on YouTube and I'll immediately look up that haunted attraction, you know, interviews, reviews, anything I can get to just find out as much as I can get about a haunted attraction, just see what it looks like and all that stuff. So yeah, lighting is tricky. So you just got to get creative with it. You know, there's no perfect method. Sometimes you set up lights and it just works out perfect. You know, I don't want to drag this question out too much, but you know, we on my light, see, lighting is important. See, you can still see me there. So you know, lighting is very important. Like one example is we just did a job a couple of weeks ago at Haunted Hills Estate, where you guys are going on your tour. And we were in a hallway in one of their haunted houses, and it's a 2-story with a basement, and we're on the ground floor. And in the second story, it's almost like a barn, an old barn. Well, the second story, there's still light that's shining through. So the ceiling are like planks, but the light from the sun is shining through the planks. And I put fog in there just to give it a little feel. And next thing you know, you can just see these like beams of light coming through the fog. And it's just, some things just work. You just find out this lighting just happened to be perfect. So you figure it out.
So, do you perform Jesus? Good morning. Do you prefer filming during live shows, off season, or doing cinematic style promos?
I've done both. I've started off with doing it while they're open, but given the choice, 10 times out of 10, I'm going to do it in the off season. I want to do it in the off season. I want no customers in there. I want free will to go in any place that I want, have time to set up my lights, because if you're doing it just walking through while they're open, your lighting is limited. I mean, what are you going to do? You're not going to take a bunch of lights and put it in a room where people are walking through. You're not going to do that. So off season, you have plenty of time. You can structure things. You can plan things, organize things. Plenty of time to set up your light, find where you want to go, have your actors ready, and go for it. so much better in the off season. I'll do it during the season. Don't get me wrong, but the off season are going to yield better results always.
Yeah, that's our gonna be one of our main goals next year is less interviews and more off season walkthroughs. I've
Yeah,
already got
man.
about 7 signed up.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do it differently. I'm not gonna have the show lights on. I want the shop lights on.
Yeah.
So it doesn't give away the show because, like you said, lighting is the show.
Yeah.
So it doesn't give away the show. Plus, people get an idea what it is. All
Yeah.
right. So, what gear do you rely on most when shooting in a haunted house setting? Any special lighting or?
I mean, I have all kinds of different lights, but my favorite lights are like these light bars, the ones that have gone out on me because I didn't charge them like I probably should have. Since Haunted Hills Estate a couple months ago. I really like my light bars. I like color. Adding color in certain areas is just it's a good touch. You don't want to put too much color on everything. You don't want to put a color saturating the entire actor because they have makeup on. So you want a normal light on that because you want to see all the different colors and the detail in their makeup. You want to see the different texture and what's the word that they call it when they take clothing and make it all like ratted,
Distressed.
distressed. You want to see all that stuff. So if you put a color light straight on them, learn my lesson. Um, you just can't see it. So you want to see all the details, and then you just add a little bit of color on them, maybe just on their side, or you can put a light behind them so it's like a silhouette of the color, and put a little color in the background. Boom, you're good to go. So going back to what we talked about before, Terry said, lighting is everything. You need to make sure your lights are good. Obviously, your camera is your most important thing. You can't have it without the camera. Lighting.
And I'm going to advise practicing with said camera because I'm still learning.
Yeah. It trust me, like I said, I just got this camera last summer, and the first time I ever used it was in Bennett's Curse. You guys have ever been there? That was the first time I reached out to Alan Bennett and said, hey, I got a camera. Do you mind if I come by? It was like their last night open too. And you know, it cameras take time to learn. But, with everything that I've done, for how long I've done it, um, I've learned very quickly. And I've accomplished a lot that I never thought I would. I never would have, a million years, if you would have asked me back when I was younger, would you be doing what you're doing right now? I'd have told you no.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, what haunted attractions have you done so far, and are there any that really stood out to you?
Man, we'll have to go down the list. So obviously, Field of Screams was the first one I ever did. That one is very special to me because it was my first one, and I've developed a good relationship with them. Um, I've a lot of the actors, they reach out to me, I reach out to them um, on social media, and that project that we did was very special because I flew an FPV drone and we did what's called a one take or a one shot fly through, and that's where we take an FPV drone. You have to pre-plan out your flight path, and these drones can fly through holes and gaps, and you can make the drone flip or roll, or you're manually operating this thing. You're telling it where to go. So we pre-made a flight path out of where we're going to go. We had actors involved, not as many as I was hoping to have, but we still had actors involved. So there was like skits going on, and you get one try to do it. So, the batteries on the one that I was flying was, it's only 3 to 5 minutes because it's a high performance drone. If you need to dive or anything like that or go faster, you're going to burn more battery. So we did a flight path, and it just happened to be a very windy day that day. So, winds and drones don't work very well. So I say we did maybe about 5 attempts, and, a couple of attempts, the actors were kind of delayed when they should be doing something. Uh, And then the last attempt we had, I had just accidentally crashed the time before. So I had to fix the drone, put new propellers on it. I was like, all right, I'm not going this way anymore because the wind pushed me right into it. And, it was the last attempt and I flew through everything. And it's funny because I was supposed to fly through the chainsaw barn,
Mhm.
but by the time I got to the chainsaw barn, somebody had closed the doors. So I was like, okay. So I had to improvise, went over to corn. And then Tanner was there with me and my wife. And we were sitting up in the Gene's office. Gene has the office where the water, I guess, so it's like a water tower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So about 75% through, Tanner leans into towards my wife and says, "This is going to be the last attempt." So I'm like, so I'm trying to I'm telling myself in my mind, come on, like you're almost done, you're almost there, get everything be perfect. And I'm flying through all these gaps and holes, so I can't mess it up because if I miss this hole and I crash, then I'm done. But we pulled it off, and then I edited it all, and it was great, and it was wonderful. So sorry. So that was the first one. Then Laurel's House of Horror. I reached out to them. And they're like a haunted family to me. I know you guys love Laurel. Shout out to Laurel. And they brought me in for that was, I would say, my first ever gig with a haunted attraction. And we came in and I flew, everything I recorded was flown on drone. Everything flying drones in the inside of a haunted attraction. And it sounds as crazy as it is. Flying drones in a haunted attraction. So we did that whole project. I've done projects for Penhurst Asylum. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. Flying inside and outside of those buildings, flying in. I've flown in buildings that aren't even there anymore. They had to demolish these buildings because they weren't safe. So I'm flying in these buildings and I'm asking the staff because there's a guy there and I'm like, if I crash, can I go get it? He's like, no, because that building is so unsafe. No one's allowed to go in there. So if I crashed in there, I'm done. I'm out of drone and a GoPro. But that was a lot of fun flying down the tunnels. And I had a little bit of a paranormal experience in there, but that's for another day. Bennett's Curse, Haunted Hills Estate. I actually, when I went to Trans World, I actually did some test flying inside the darkness, which was pretty cool. Because if you've ever been in that place, I don't think, have you guys been there yet?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm not going to lie, it's a really nicely done attraction. So I got to fly inside there. And then this weekend, by the time this video comes out, it had already been done. Shooting at Hera's Nightmare, which I know you guys are also a big fan of that. And then the next day, I'm going up to 13th Hour. And then in October, I think we're going back to Haunted Hills Estate. And then I just got hooked up with a guy who in New York has a home haunt, Dark Acres. So I'm going to shoot some stuff for him. Also, there's a place called Cornstalkers in Maryland. They're kind of like, they rent out a space next to a stadium. So they're not built, they have to rebuild it every year. They put the walls up and everything. So I did stuff for them. So those are the places that I've done stuff for. Brighton Asylum. I did a project with Brighton Asylum before. So, I mean, for not doing it that long, I think my list of where I've gone and done work is a pretty decent list. And hopefully it keeps going from there.
Very cool. Now, are there any you want to get to?
See, there's so many, I kind of lose track of all of them. There's one specifically, and I can't remember where the name, I think it's Hell's Gate, maybe. That's really extremely theatrical. And I think you have to walk through woods first to get to it.
Yes.
Yes,
I was there last year.
That one I'd like to go to. I'm like, the more elaborate it is, the more I want to do it. And I think I'm kind of in line with, I've been watching you guys for a while now, so stalking you guys a little bit. But
That's fine. We have stalkers. We love
Yeah,
them.
we have stalkers.
but I'm kind of with Jared as far as like, I like animatronics. Don't get me wrong, but to go in a room that just has so much detail and you're like, how much time did this take? It's so elaborate and the lighting, and that's why, I'm not a biased person at all, but Laurel, I mean, more people need to go out there because the
They do.
details
They
in
do.
those rooms, and Matt, their light technician, shout out Matt, it's just, oh,
He's amazing.
chef's kiss, man, because lighting is everything. You want to get all those senses. You can get all the senses down. That's good because then that's the kind of person I am. Yeah, that's just who I am. When there's too many things going on, I tend to get a little uh, flustered and some anxiety going on when there's so many different things going on, so many sensory things going on. So that's in my opinion. But Hell's Gate definitely. Everybody keeps talking about what's the big one in Pennsylvania everybody keeps talking about. And it's kind of like a lot of woods, they use a lot of trees in it. Haunted Overlook.
Wow, that's in New
Or is
Hampshire.
that
New
New
Hampshire.
Hampshire? Sorry.
Lee, New
Haunted
Hampshire.
Overload. Everybody's
Yeah.
just raving about
Get
Haunted Overload.
get your ass there.
Yeah.
That
Because
place was built to film. It really
yeah,
was. It's gorgeous.
I don't know if you probably heard of Spooky Kisses before.
Hmm?
We've done work with them at haunted attractions. They wanted certain kind of shots. So I'd go and fly for them at certain places. So, they love Haunted Overload because they're close to them, but that's another place that I really want to go. But it's difficult, just like all these haunt owners say, like they want to go to all these haunted attractions, but it's like, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? I don't know. So it's fun to do this because it gives me the chance to go to new haunted attractions. I get to see it before anybody else gets to see it. And I get to see things that are like, we just built this and nobody knows about it. So great. So,
Yeah, I got something pretty cool in that file over here that no one's seen.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna black it out so no one's gonna see it either. So oh well. Yeah, we're actually heading to Laurel's Saturday, right?
Yeah.
you guys
Doing
doing,
a paranormal ghost hunt.
see, that's another thing. Like I'm trying to get into that industry as well. Trying to get into the paranormal industry. Uh, I always tell my wife, I'd rather stay on the other side of the camera. I'll just record and that's it. I don't, I've had my one experience at Penhurst Asylum and I can't explain it. So I just kind of leave it up to, I'm not sure what it was. But I don't know. I've had a couple experiences in my lifetime of things that I can't really explain. And I don't know if I want to go to a place though and have something be completely blatant and be like, hey, I'm trying to get your attention here. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know.
yeah, we people on the channel know we lived in a haunted house for what, 6 years?
5 years.
5 years. With shit happening all the time.
Oh yeah. I mean, where we live, and I point this way. So where we live, right next door, we live right next door to a cemetery. And it's an old Quaker cemetery. So if you don't know
Hmm.
what a Quaker is, it's like Amish. So they're over there. There's some that are like in the 1800s. They're pretty old. And yeah, we also used to own a hearse. And that's the kind of people we are. We used to own a hearse. We sold it, but I got my eyes on another one. And we'll see what
You need the room for the photo equipment. Just push it that
happens.
way.
I don't know. That's just pretty much just kind of our like weekend driver. Like mom and dad are going out on a date. Yeah. And you
But you
get
could
the
keep all the shit in a coffin and then you pull it. You know what I'm just saying? It
oh yeah.
just adds to the profile.
Oh yeah, and we I'm still technically a part of it. We are still technically a part of a Hearst club, and we took it up to Field of Screams once. And it's cool. People love them, man. But yeah, we got a cemetery next door, and there's some things that happen around the house that we can't explain. But I just kind of like, all right, whatever.
So, what's the easiest haunt been to shoot?
Easiest haunt to shoot. I would say it's a tie. I would say it's a tie between Laurel and Haunted Hills Estate. And the reason being is it's like, how far are they going to go for me to make sure that I have everything that I need? So if a haunted attraction is like legit, they're like, okay, we got all these actors, we're ready. You need a power source here. The actors are all ready to go, and they really are just, they go all out. Anything you need, I ask them questions, they answer quickly. Um, those are the easiest ones to work with. So Laurel, they were just on top of it. And you know their makeup too. So it's like, it's great to have a place where their makeup is top of the line, because I'm just, I'm like, this is great. What are we doing? My wife was even there, and they even got her in makeup to do a shot. So it's the
I'm
haunts
not.
that go the extra mile. I mean, you know, they're paying for a service. So, you want to bring your best. So when your photographer or videographer comes in, you know, give them your very best, man. Make it not easy for them, but just having everything organized.
I was waiting for you to say Laurel's because it's probably the brightest haunt around.
Yeah, it was pretty bright, and I had Matt with me, and like as soon as I walked into that place, I was like, lights, lights, lighting, lighting, and Matt followed me around the entire time, and he was great. He's such a sweetheart, and yeah, every place I went, I was like, I need more lights here. And he would like climb up a ladder and move the light a certain way or bring extra lights. This is before I had my own lights. And they're like, we got lights. And he just followed me around everywhere, man. And they went the extra mile, whatever you need. And it was great.
So,
Yeah, they're great.
what other questions you got, lady?
Um, I haven't even been looking at the list.
Me neither. I kind of just been firing. Like I said, the
Uh,
list is just like whatever.
I've kind of just, like I said, I will just keep talking and talking and talking. So I apologize if I kind of go off on a rant.
No, you're fine. I'm gonna text you later about these wireless light bars that you have too.
Yeah. Just make sure you get the warranty on them. That's very important.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're. I'm getting a bigger desk because, as you can see, me and Terry are on top of each other. But I want to be able to pull the desk out so I can play with the lighting back there. Because right now
Yeah.
I just don't have room. I have 7 fucking ring lights on. One,
Hey,
two,
I
three,
have
four,
I
five.
have one light, and that's the screen on my computer at the moment. Since, like I said, all my lights, a guy talking about lights is important. He doesn't even charge his light.
Hey, but they were used to, for the business, so it's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take a break real quick. Movie. So it's raining out, like it's supposed to pour tomorrow. You got nowhere to be. The kids are off playing somewhere. What's a comfort movie that you're putting in?
We're gonna keep it horror related. Um, but I will be honest, I am a huge comedy fan. I like comedy. I feel like there really hasn't been a very good comedy movie that's come out. I don't know, like ever since the '90s ended. I don't know.
Shout out to Happy Gilmore too. I
Oh,
very much
I did
recommend.
watch that. Yes, I did watch that. I will tell you, my wife said it was okay. I told her I enjoyed it because it scratched that nostalgia itch.
I laughed my ass off for an hour and a half.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, man. It was definitely funny. I enjoyed it. But I like comedy movies, but sticking with horror movies, I would say one of my favorite horror movies to sit down and watch is House of a Thousand Corpses. It's just so over the top and crazy, and it's there's no holding back. The cursing and the gore and just the psychoticness and the just demonicness and just all of it together. It's a beautiful thing, and
Yeah,
I
I
like
love
it.
the movies that make you want to take a shower when you're done watching.
Yeah.
Like not so much House, but Devil's
Devil's
Rejects. Definitely wanted to take a shower after that.
Yeah. And then me and my wife are, we're a big fan of horror movies, so we're waiting for some of the horror movies to come out. There's one in September. I'm trying to remember.
The
I
Conjuring.
always forget the name of these movies. Uh, but like we liked Annabelle. Annabelle was a great movie.
Ah, yeah, we're that's the next time we're going to the movies is The Conjuring.
Mhm.
Yes, that's it. The Conjuring. We're big fans of the Conjuring stuff. It's just
Me
something
too.
about a movie with demonic stuff in it. It's just it doesn't get any better than that. So
I
yeah, the
love
Conjuring.
the haunted house movie. That's my favorite kind of, other than Freddy, obviously. It would be horror house movies. So The Conjuring, Conjuring 2,
Yeah,
and really, you got to go back to like Poltergeist for another good one.
yeah.
So, I
I've
mean,
seen some of the classic ones. Growing up as a kid, like I said, I couldn't watch certain things, but at that period of time, my parents were separated. So, my mom was the one who was the really religious one, and my father wasn't. So when I went away for summer or Christmas break, I might have like sneaked in a horror movie, and it was wild. So I have respect for the old school movies, and we watch a lot of like stuff on Amazon or Netflix or whatever it is that kind of goes through all the old school movies and like horror movies that you never would have known about, like Japanese horror and stuff. And you see all these crazy things. But we are big fans of The Conjuring. But I would tell you right now, if you're gonna watch a horror movie, I'm gonna go to a theater and I'm gonna pay the money to sit in a theater. That's just who I am. I like going to the movies. The movies are not dead. COVID did not kill the movies. I want to go to the movie theater. I don't want to
yeah,
watch
I
it at
do
home.
too. But I need movies that I want to go see in the movie theater to come out. Like,
Yeah, and there's not a really whole lot of them. That's why
no,
we're very careful. The last movie we watched at the movie theater was Final Destination.
okay.
And that was my first Final Destination to watch at a movie theater. I thought the last one was good. I thought it was good.
Haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
You got to go see it. It's probably streaming right now. So yeah, you're not
Probably
going to find
is.
it. You're not going to find it in theaters. Definitely go watch it if you're into that kind of stuff. But that
Oh,
was
I
a good.
enjoyed them. They were fun.
Yeah.
What about Hell House?
Hell House.
Haven't seen Hell House yet?
No.
It's called Hell House LLC. It's a haunted attraction movie.
I'll have to watch it now. Now I'm going to have to watch it.
And the filming location is the Waldorf Estate of Fear, which is in. It's up by Devil's Last Laugh. It's up by.
Also horror.
Yeah, let me see the name of that town.
Oh my god, I can't think what
Yeah,
name it is.
sorry, Angie.
I just
Lehighton, Pennsylvania.
It's probably not that far from me, but I don't know. Pennsylvania is a big, wide state, though, too,
Nah,
man.
this is
East to west.
just around the Poconos. It's not far.
I'll have to hit them up. They're like, come on, let's do something.
Yeah, Angie.
Angie's great.
Angie's awesome. One of the most theatrical haunts I've ever seen.
I like theatrical haunts.
Yeah, they play roles every room. It's crazy.
We just
And
had her on.
yeah, we just had her on. That hasn't released yet.
I know.
But yeah. So with that play, she added elements of the movie and her own element. So it's a good mix of both.
I'll definitely have to check it out. I'll have to
Yeah,
tell my wife.
there's 4 movies. There's Hell House 1, 2, 3, then another one, and then a fifth one's just coming out in the theaters uh late August, I think.
I got you. I will tell you there's one horror movie that I did not really like. And I mean, like, I didn't like because out of all the horror movies, that was the one that got me uncomfortable. And I would have to say that has to be Pet Cemetery.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Pet Cemetery. The first one didn't really bother me so much because it was filmed in like the 80s.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the new one that came out and we watched it in the movie theater, I didn't. It made me uncomfortable because I'm a dad. I have 4 kids, so stuff like that bothers me when it comes to kids and kids getting hurt or stuff like that. That bothered me. I was ready to get up and walk out, man. I was like, I can't do this. So that was the one movie that I won't watch it again.
Yeah, I won't watch that one again either. Either one.
No.
So haunts. What else we got? Come on, Parmesan. Got that air because of you.
I know. I don't have anything else.
Oh. I just had one, but you made me lose it. Let's see what the
I
list
didn't
has to
do
say.
nothing.
So we asked them to dream haunt. So what are some future goals for LW Aerial Productions?
Future goals. Just see how far I can go in the haunted attraction industry. I still consider us to be a baby. Any business that's only been around for about 3 or 4 years, you're a baby. You're a baby. But I feel like I barely really broken open in what I really want to do. I've barely broken open in what I want to do. I'm still learning in some aspects, but like I said before, there is creativity and artisticness. Is that a word? It is
We'll
for
make it
today.
one. Yep.
It is for today that I found inside of me that I had no idea that I had. So the sky's the limits. I like to tell a lot of the people that I talk to and mentors, and I've told Dozer this too. I feel like I have the vision for things and videos and photography, and the only thing that's limiting me is resources. If I had everything I ever needed, I could make some killer stuff. But the quality of what we do it's great. But I feel like in the next 3 to 5 years, I'm trying to make it even bigger. But we try not to. I don't want to have a corporate feel at all. I don't want to have a corporate feel. We're very laid back, good people with good morals. Old school meets new school. Very family oriented. I love my kids. I love my wife. So every haunt we work with, you're not just a client. You're a family. I like to bring a very personable approach with people. I don't want to be this big corporate, but not to say that that won't happen. I don't know what's going to happen if things get really too busy. I don't know. I know other people who shoot photography and videography like Dozer. Some people that I can go to and be like, I can't get here. I'm way too busy. I like what you do. I trust what you do. Can you go do this for me? So I'm just taking it a day at a time. Like I'll cross the bridge when we get there. I'm just enjoying the journey. They tell you enjoy is that what it is? It's it's the journey, not the destination. And I am in the journey right now. And I have so many dreams and aspirations and ideas in my head. Every day I'm thinking about different things and how can I take this to the next level? And there's no doubt in my mind, and I say this in the most modest and confident way, that, things are going to get really good and really fast. And, I'm just excited to see where this takes me. And I want to turn some heads, and I want to get people's attention, and I want to entertain people, and I want people to get that wow factor and be like, I never saw this guy coming. Who is this guy? And then now he's coming out of nowhere. So I don't know. Sky's the limit. I have big ambitions, big goals. We're just gonna keep rocking and work with as many haunts as we can, and we'll see where it takes us. But enjoy the ride while we're here. No matter what happens, enjoy what you have, because yeah, I never thought
So
we could do that.
I've been asked this, so I'm going to ask you: what's your favorite part about the haunted attraction industry?
Favorite part about the haunted attraction industry? Honestly, I would say the actors. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, I like the creativeness and theatrical part and the detail part, but it's the actors. It's just building a relationship with the people that you're doing work with, man. Like they all come from, and that's what I like about haunted attractions. And I tell people haunted attractions are like my home away from home. It's like I feel like it's the only place that I can go where I feel comfortable. I'm very much a homebody. You know, when I'm not working, I want to be home. I want to be home, relaxing. I want to be with my family. But when I go to a haunted attraction, I just feel like it's a non-judgmental place. They don't care about if you have like a physical problem or a mental problem. They don't care what background you came from. They don't care about any of that. They're all there to do the same thing. Nobody judges you. Uh, and the actors are just great. Some of them are more shy than others. You know what I mean? Some
Oh, I
of
know.
them, yeah, some of them have more energy than others. But every actor I've ever met has been great. You know, I've worked with so many different actors. I've worked with actors who were autistic and everything. And I love them all, and I try to make them feel comfortable because when you're shooting, you know, when you're shooting photography with them or you're shooting video with them, you want them to feel comfortable because it's one thing for people to be walking around in a haunted attraction and they know what they got to do. But when you put a camera in front of people, they kind of freeze up. And I used to be like that now. I think I'm doing pretty good in this stream so far. I was a little nervous, but the actors, man, they're just, I try to make them feel comfortable. I usually crack jokes. I'll usually give them a little bit of shit. I'm allowed to curse on this stream, right?
Yeah,
So
we are the only adult focused podcast towards haunted
great.
attractions. So feel free.
All right, fuck it. So yeah,
There you go.
you know, I'll give them shit. You know, I'll be like, you know, do this, and I'll be like, no, don't do it like that. And they'll be like, oh, and I'll be like, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But try to make people feel comfortable. That's just how I am. Like I said before, like in order for me to be comfortable, I need other people around me to be comfortable. So, you know, the actors
Yeah.
are great. You know, most of the owners are great, no doubt. But the actors, you know, they're the ones that they're putting the show on. You know what I mean? They're putting the show on. You can't plug them into a wall. You can't fill them with fog machine juice. You can't do that. They're the ones that are doing all this work. So I have mad respect for actors. That's why I always thank them, every single one, after I'm done. Thank you very much. And they love it. They're like, no, thank you. And, you know, I go back to Field of Screams and stuff. And, you know, because we started with drone. So they're like, drone man, drone man. And I'm like, oh, I'm not drone guy anymore. I got a camera. And they're like, you're still the drone guy. And, you know, people get excited to see you. And that makes me happy and, you know, excited to go to these places and they see you and they're like happy to see you again. So it's
Yeah,
the
that
It's like another family.
for me,
Yeah.
it's the relationships, whether actor, owner, makeup artist, whatever. It's
Yeah.
just like if I look at my phone right here, the conversations I had just today, one, two, three, four, five different haunts. Then in the Facebook, so 11 different haunts I talked to just today, and I don't even think they were about haunting. So like it's the friendships built along the way. Yeah, I get to see a lot of cool shit. I have
Yeah.
access to a lot of stuff. It's awesome. But my favorite overall part is just building the relationships and, you know, the ones that have already grown and are huge, helping them, push forward to different people or the ones that are new and need the help. It's why we started.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of these haunted attractions, you know, there's definitely a family vibe in the majority of them. There's definitely a family vibe, and some of them are all family run. You know, obviously you won't be able to fill enough actor positions in a family. I know there's some big families out there. I mean, we have a big family, but not that big. But they all have a family feeling. Like Laurel's is very warm and welcoming. I mean, I can't go there at all without somebody hugging me,
Yep.
and I'm okay with it. You know, it really is a good community. Um, it's just like any other community, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're going to run into some people who are a little more serious, a little more standoffish, and that's just like actors too. Some of them are so serious, and some of them are more go with the flow, and some are just high energy. And I'm like, I have a lot of energy, but you by far have more energy than I do. So yeah, the actors, and it's a community, and I've met a lot of people. I've networked with a lot of people. You and I, Jared, talk from time to time, which is great. I think I just randomly sent you a message one day. That's what I do to people, by the way. Just slide in their DMs.
So do I, brother. The whole thing's full of that.
That's how I usually end up at haunted attractions. Is I just randomly send them a message. I'm like, hey, you want to do some cool stuff? And they're like, sure. And so yeah,
Awesome. Well, do you have any other questions, Your Honor?
No, does he want to plug his stuff?
You have access, right? You're right here.
Where can people find you?
I'll give you my address. You guys can. I'm not going to give you mine. I'm not going to give you. But we have, a YouTube channel that's, I keep it professional there. That's where I usually post all my stuff. And I don't have, there's a lot of stuff that I'm sitting on right now that I can't release at the moment because haunt season's not here yet. So I can't release it yet. But yeah, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I just got a TikTok like a little over a month ago. So, against all my feelings of not wanting to do it, I did it. So TikTok, that's a big thing. I'm actually giving away 2 free tickets to Laurel's House of Horror on my TikTok right now. And it hasn't really gotten much traction. Not many people have, entered this contest, but we're giving away 2 free tickets to Laurel's House of Horror. So go on the TikTok. But
guys, giveaway. Let's go.
2 free tickets. But I tell everybody, we're on social media. If you're in the industry, if you're an actor, you're a photographer, you're a lighting guy, you're a manager, you're an owner, you're a fan. I don't care who you are. If you're in the haunted attraction, you're into haunted houses, or you're into horror, just find us on social media. Send us a message. You'll be surprised. I'll probably end up replying because I always check all the social medias like all day. So
yeah, me too. It's like breathing at this point.
yeah, just reach out and say hello, man. Like I'm the most laid back, down to earth person, man. So yeah, find us, check out our stuff, and very excited for what's to come. There's some really big things coming, and I can't discuss all of it because I'm not allowed to. But you're just gonna have to wait.
Oh, we get that.
Yeah.
If people could see my inbox, they'd be fucking shocked and appalled. But that's another thing for another time. Anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. But I do want to thank you for taking the time out. I know you got a lot of kids and a wife to abandon for an hour to talk with us, so I really appreciate it.
They're all asleep anyways. Hopefully. And I am also going to go to sleep. So, but no, I appreciate you guys having me on. You guys usually have like owners of haunted attractions, and I still feel like a baby in this industry. So in a way, I feel like, who the fuck am I? But I appreciate it. I really do. You guys,
pleasure is all ours.
just keep doing what you're doing, and I'll just end it with telling people, don't quit. If you have a passion that you're into, don't quit it. Embrace yourself. Just dive on in. And if anybody tells you you can't do anything, don't listen to them, because you'll never know if you are able to do something unless you try. So follow your
Words
passion.
to live by right there.
Yep, and don't quit. But I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man. All right, guys. But we got a lot of stuff coming out. It's almost haunt season, so we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
All right, we are